You start to begin celebrating Women's Month for all of August and Women's Day later this month as well. There's always a constant danger for many women around our country on a daily basis. Now, rather than wait for government campaigns and all those sort of things, women are literally taking protection into their own hands, and so you should as well. Embarking on personal protection workshops, this one specifically out in Pretoria. Adoozy Power and Women Inpowered are teaching you how to physically fend off predators. What a terrible thing to have to talk about, but so very important. I'm joined by Women Inpowered founder Mark Grobbelaar, who, by the way, thankfully he's on Zoom. He's terrifying in real life. Sixth Dan karate master. Mark, good morning to you, and it's good to have you back on ENCA. I say that because I've actually seen you in real life. You are a terrifying man, and thankfully you're not here to demonstrate on me, because knowing you want to demonstrate on me on live television. So I'm glad you're on Zoom far away. It's a terrible thing we have to talk about. It's a terrible thing we have to talk about. Yes, personal protection's always good, but with the scourge of GBV in our country, it's become a necessity.
Oh, definitely, Gareth. I mean, it's not a nice to have anymore. I mean, the stats are, as I'm sure you're aware, are really off the scale. I mean, there was an article that was written recently by, I'm just quickly looking down at the numbers here, by Daily Maverick. In the first 3 months of 2023, 1,500 rapes, 13,000 women killed. Sorry, 969 women killed, 13,000 women assaulted. I mean, it really is a scourge, and there really doesn't seem to be anything that's trying to stop the tide. And to your point earlier, we really can't wait for the government or any of the sort of official agencies to assist here.
No, you can't. And by the time you've called for help, something terrible or something worse may have even happened as well. So let's talk about personal protection, especially when it comes to training. I'm imagining newbies at this point, Mark, because anyone who's already involved with you and involved in personal protection, this might be old hat for. But someone watching now might have no idea why they might need this or might want this. So talk me through why this is becoming such a big issue.
Well, I suppose, Gareth, there's two sides to look at here. What I call typical self-defense, where you need to rock up to regular classes and train on a sort of daily basis, is not something that every woman wants to do. So our approach is a little bit simpler. Our philosophy is very unique, and it's all about giving you the ability to make a choice when you find yourself in a threatening situation. Every woman I've ever spoken to at the beginning of the program, when I say, do you know what to do in a life-threatening situation, basically says no. And what we aim to do at the end of a 2-hour program is give them a skill that they'll never forget, a skill that they know will work because of the process we go through, and they can walk away from the Adoozy Empowered Personal Protection Program knowing that they have an option that they didn't have before. And that's a really empowering, excuse the pun, but it's a very empowering process to go through. And it, I mean, overwhelmingly just this last month, 10,000 women have now been through our program.
Wow.
And the overwhelming message that comes through is that, Mark, I'm not scared anymore. And it's actually, when you realize the amount of women we speak to in these programs, women are scared. They are scared they're just scared. And I think that's a terrible endorsement for the society that we're living in.
I couldn't agree with you more, Mark, that we even have to have a conversation where tens of thousands of people are coming through a program like yours because on a daily basis they feel scared walking to the shop. They feel scared walking through the shop. Everyone feels scared driving in their cars. So what is the sort of level of training that one needs to go through? I'm busy imagining someone at home, busy watching you and I talk this morning going, look, Gareth, this is great, but I've got a job, I've got kids, I've got a life I need to get on with as well. Where do I fit this into my day or my week or my month? Just give me some details.
So Gareth, I mean, again, I'm glad you mentioned that, because let's just say that what I call the typical self-defense scenario, if you were to learn what I call reaction-based self-defense, where somebody says, if somebody grabs your left hand, you do this, or somebody grabs your right hand, that is something that needs to be practiced every single day. And not every woman wants to do that. Our approach is completely different. Our whole program is 2 hours. There's a theory component and a physical component. It can be done face-to-face. It can be done online via Zoom, for instance, something that that COVID forced us to do. It also can be done online. As I mentioned, we've got a full online program which allows people to go through the program in their own time. And while it's not ideal, it works. It works. There has to be. I mean, I'm just looking at some of the videos that you've got on screen at the moment. While that would work for somebody that trains on a regular basis, for someone, as you said, that's sitting at home now that says, Mark, I don't have 3 hours every day for the rest of my life to do this, and I don't want to do this. For somebody like that, that type of self-defense will never work because it has to be trained every day. Our program is completely different. It just gives you a skill, and it's something that you don't need to practice every day. Because of the process we go through, you leave with a belief, you leave with a technique, and you know you can do something as opposed to thinking.
Yeah, Mark, I want to say goodbye to you in a moment. You and I could talk all day, but I want to say goodbye in a second because this is not just important for women watching now who want to protect themselves. I'm imagining there might even be parents of young girls as well. And we all know what it's like when you're young. You want to go to the shopping mall, you want to go ice skating, you want to go to the movies. And again, a terrible indictment on our society that we even have to, if you were to have daughters, even go through this. So someone's watching now, just tell me where I'm sending people. But someone's going to love what you're doing, but they're going to go, Gareth, where do I need to go to do this? So just give me your details before I say goodbye. Where do we go?
100%, guys. Just two things quickly. We do a lot of work with schools. So what you've just said resonates with me completely. My daughter, when she was 11, has been through our program. But all the information that anybody needs to get hold of me, our website is www.inpowered. So India, November, powered.co.za. We're all over social media. If you just search for Women Empowered or empowered.co.za, they'll be able to get my contact details, everything on our website.
I actually think I saw one of your videos pop up on Instagram or Twitter or something the other day as well. I must actually go follow you. Women Empowered founder, Mark Grobbelaar, thank you very much indeed. It's just good advice. It's terrible advice, isn't it, to have to give? But I'm afraid it's here where we are. We can't rely on government and police to get the job done of protecting women in our country. The stats speak for themselves. It's just not being done. Take the power, put it back in your own hands. But as we were discussing, how do you do that? So Women Inpowered founder Mark Grobbelaar, as he says, you can just go and take a look and see what works for you. I know